organizations founded South by Southwest probably in around 2006. So we've been working at this 7 years already. We're going on 8 years.
This is the first time that the partnership has really come together to have this kind of sit down, to talk about where we've been and talk about where we're going in close to 4 years. There's been a lot of change in our organizations, and I think that this time together for us is really about that.
South by Southwest process, I went to Jackson and did a week-long training on GIS, learned how to make maps and really engage my community in the redistricting process. And it was a lot of fun to go there. It was kind of interesting way they do their trainings. You know, it's not quite like SWAP, so it was a little bit informal. People sitting down and working together, and it was a good time. I learned from them, and learned a lot about sort of what's going on in Mississippi in terms of their redistricting struggle, as well. So I connected that, and then I was able to take those skills back to New Mexico and engage people in Albuquerque and in southeastern New Mexico in the redistricting process.
As young people, we tend to isolate ourselves and tend to just think that the struggles and issues that we're currently going through are not shared by other people, and being able to connect on a more personal level with people that are not even living in the same state as us or city as us allows us to really expand our thinking and being able to make those connections so that we can then resolve issues.
This has been a really unique experience being a part of the South by Southwest experiment. I don't think anywhere else I could have gotten this kind of relationship building between Black and Browns in a sense or in a way that it really shows how connected we are in terms of our history, in terms of the systems that seems to be oppressing our communities, and the ways that they're being oppressed are so similar. So we're here talking about strategies that we can use to meet those common goals, and that is to really help our people in our communities to realize the power that they have in terms of really taking our communities back to a place that the impact is not a negative impact, but it's an impact that brings about thriving, healthy communities.
I think it's a really awesome model. It's a regional model, it's a people of color model, it's a intergenerational youth model, and I think all of those things work really well together, and they could work in a lot of other regions.
All of our organizations are transitioning, so the South by Southwest experience has really supported folks like me who are transitioning into positions of leadership, such as co-directorship and things like that. So that's kind of the role, is like having support from organizations who have done it before, such as SWAP, and having and Southern Echo is going through that transition right now. So it's important to have young people not just at that step, but being part of all of those pieces, to be able to know the history of South by Southwest and the organization, to be able to work with those elders and side by side with them until the point where it's time for where the elder kind of feels it's necessary for them to step back, and at that point it creates just a stronger organization when you have a person in that position that has been through the history with the organization.
You get used to being in charge of things and helping to move things, and one of the things you don't learn easily is how to step back and step out and give others an opportunity. Part of this is growing in your own understanding and growing your own understanding of what leadership needs to do. And good leadership needs to step back and allow others to come forward and be in those roles. I think part of what is inspirational about doing this is that it allows for those who have really taken the passion that they have to be inside this work, an opportunity to lead the work. And that then allows you to be more of a mentor, allows me to be more of a person who provides eldership, and to talk about what being in leadership has what kind of wisdom I've gained from it. I've learned that one of the things we can't do as good leaders is block new leadership. We have to let it aspire, let it grow out, let it make its mistakes, but let it grow. And that's the only way we're going to be able to grow the movement.
So, I think back when I came into organizing in like a formal capacity about 15 years ago now with Southwest Workers Union, I can recognize how much has been given to me and how much has been invested in me and how much of a better person I am because of that. I can also recognize how things are changing, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that new people begin to take up leadership within organizations, that we're also seeing new people take up leadership within the South by Southwest experiment. So I'm trying to be intentional about creating that space. While it's difficult, while it's something that you kind of like birth and think of and put a lot of time and energy into bringing more people into that vision, it's also hard to step back because of that. But at the same time, change is constant and necessary. And while it can be a little fearful at times, there's more that grows beyond that fear. This is not the first transition that has ever happened, right? And it's happened within our own organizations. It continues to happen within our own organizations, and we continue to survive. So I think at the base of it, it's really around the love for the organization and the commitment that we have for the organization that continues to allow it to grow and thrive. Not necessarily all the structural pieces and all these other pieces. It's really about what's in the person's heart and how much energy and time they commit to making it succeed.
We've just come off doing 2 national convenings, and it was a lot of work, and we did it, we pulled it off, and it was really great. But I think we really needed to spend the time and really think about what we wanted to do and move the work forward. And so I think this weekend was a great opportunity for us to do that. And I think there was a lot of really in-depth conversations that were had. We sort of have some new work that we're kind of excited and have some plans to move it. So I'm excited to see where we're going in the future, and I think we're pretty ambitious. We have some ambitious goals, and I'm excited to see hopefully them get accomplished.
The youth that have been working with the adults, also the youth that they have built this confidence in, and they fully understand this work. I really feel that eventually we're going to be the ones that take the torch and move it forward. And I feel that it's gonna be very successful. We've already had successful outcomes through the South by Southwest experiment, and I feel that there's nothing but greater accomplishments to come. Especially, I feel about the county governance, education, food justice. I mean, all those things that we talked about, especially in this convenience, we actually went and dealt with them, and we actually had people that was actually really motivated and came up with some brilliant ideas to move this work forward.
It is important that we remember how to remain humble in this work, and how do we remain steadfast in building from the ground up rather than the top down. From an engineering feat, I've never figured out how you build a building from the top down. I've never seen it happen before. But we keep creating policies that are top-down policies rather than bottom-up policies. And so if we really want all these processes to work, and I think that's key to South by Southwest, is that we're building a bottom-up process.